everybody. Today we're going to be talking about liters. Even brought my tea pitcher along. When we're talking about liters, the nice thing about the metric system is that all of those prefixes stay the same. So remember when we learned about meters and we learned about milli, centi, deci, deca, hecto, kilo? With meters, we used our rulers and we saw that centimeters were a lot smaller than an inch. Well, that's what we're doing today, only we're talking about liters. Now, liters, by the way, this is page 251 in your book. Liters are measurements of capacity, liquid capacity. This is a gallon-sized tea pitcher. It's my favorite tea pitcher. Can you see it's all stained with old tea? I've used it for years. Anyway, if this is a gallon, which is how most of us make our tea, it's how our milk tends to come, you can see that 3 liters is slightly smaller than a full gallon. Well, today all we're going to be talking about is liters and the other metric units that go with it. But where I didn't have a hard time visualizing this with length, because we do see centimeters being used in our normal American life, we don't tend to see liters used as often, with the exception of a 2-liter Coca-Cola bottle. So I wanted to break it down to show you the sizes. So remember, you're starting with the measurement of 1. This right here. And everything surrounds going either smaller than 1, so it takes more of them to be 1, or bigger than 1. So first let's talk about deci, centi, and milli. Deci is 1/10 of a liter, centi is 1/100th of a liter, and milli is 1,000th of a liter. Gotta get those fuzz out there. So in other words, it takes 10 deciliters to make 1 liter. It takes 100 centiliters or 1,000 milliliters just to make that little bit. But now let's look at the bigger measurements. Going back to those, the most common of those, like there wasn't tea in that tea pitcher, is milliliter. As a matter of fact, if you have a little brother or sister in the house, it's very possible that you will be able to find a medicine dropper that is done in milliliters. That's very common for children and infant medication. Okay, but back to deca, hecto, and kilo. The way you find them, because it's smaller, you have to divide by whatever they stand for. So we know deca is 10 because decade is 10. And remember, we talked about, we just got them in order, and we said we use this for Hector, and then we're going to kill Hector. We're not really going to kill Hector. We also said that he's so big and tall and strong as 100 men. So nothing can kill Hector. But that helped give us our order. You can also go in ABC order. D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. That might help too. Whatever works for you. That doesn't work down here, but it works there. Anyway, to figure that out, you're just going to divide by that number. So let's say we have our 3 liters here. And we want to know how many deciliters that is. So we're going to divide by 10. We're going to say 3 divided by 10. This is too big, but remember, whole numbers on their own can be followed by a decimal and a 0. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to put a decimal and a 0. So now, how many times can 10 go into 30? Make sure to bring that decimal up 3 times. What that tells me is that 3 liters is 3/10 of a deciliter. And you can go on and on with that. If you were asking about hecto, it would just be this. If you were asking about kilo, it would be this. But honestly, when it comes to the metric liquid capacity, you're going to use liter and milliliter more than anything. And those measurements that you learned when you did meters still hold true. If it's 1 deciliter or 1 deciliter, deciliter is bigger. This is your 1. It gets bigger as it goes up, smaller as it goes down. That's all you have to know about it for your lesson today. They're not going to make you convert anything. But for me, just seeing those numbers didn't help me much. I needed to see this. I needed to see that what deciliter and centiliter and milliliter were. And I needed to know that then deciliter, this is part of a deciliter. This is part of a hectoliter. This is part of a kiloliter. That it doesn't make a whole one. So that's why I brought out the T picture. And that's why I gave the little bit of a long explanation. If you look at class practice 1 though, all they're asking you to do is match up the prefix with what it stands for. And those are all right here for you. And again, if you ever forget, it's in your math handbook in your work folder. And I think that's all for today. Bye.